Hey guys, this is udeadinaflash here, and a couple years ago I made a video on the Game Boy Advance player. Um, if you guys watched it, it wasn't very good, to be honest with you guys. But anyways, today I decided to come back and remake that video, as well as add in a couple other things. So today I'll be telling you a little bit about the functions of the Game Boy player for Nintendo GameCube, and I will also be tearing it down to show you guys what it looks like on the inside. Hope you guys enjoy. So I'm sure you guys are saying, why can't I play this on a bigger screen? I mean, there's no outputs to get onto a bigger screen. This is dumb. Well, you can. Nintendo made the Nintendo GameCube Game Boy player. As you can see, on the bottom here, there is an attachment made officially by Nintendo that you can put your Game Boy games in. They also, I will tell you guys, they also did make the Game Boy player for the N64 and Super Nintendo in a cartridge form. So it's just a cartridge with a slot on the top for you to put the Game Boy games in. But those do not work with Game Boy Advance games. So you might be asking yourself, what all do you need to play games on a TV? Well, you're going to need this Game Boy player right here. Right now, this is going for about $25 for the black one. They have different colors, just like I have an orange GameCube. It comes in orange if you import it from Japan. You can also get it in silver. You can get it in purple. Basically all the GameCube colors. But the most common one you will find is the black one. Now this is not all you need. You also need a disc. The Game Boy Player Startup Disc, to be exact. This here's kind of what it looks like. The bad part is these are actually getting harder and harder to find. I looked on eBay right before this, and some people were selling them for upwards of $60. And for a disc that basically just enables the player down here to work, I mean, that's basically all this is doing. That's pretty salty. But if you can find one cheap, like I did, I was given this one. It was all scratched up, and I went and I got it buffed back out. And it works. If you can do that, then more power to you. Now I'm going to show you guys what it is like to actually play this. So to get the player working, you simply put in your disc, close it, get a game card such as Mario Kart Super Circuit, as you see here, and then you put it in and just slide it in. You'll feel it gets nice and snug in place, and then you can fire her up. Go through the little GameCube startup. And then, if you have a component cable or Xenomod, it'll ask you if you want to enable it. So you press yes. If not, then you don't have the cables. And there's the startup. And now we are playing Mario Kart Super Circuit. So you guys might notice the weird border around there. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. If you see up there in the corner, it says the Z button, which is the blue button up here. That one right there is the button you press to open up the options, and then you are opened up to changing the game pack. Before you switch out a game, without turning off the GameCube, you press change game pack, and it will save everything that you have on your game pack. You have a timer, which is actually very interesting. You can set a timer, and it will go off in the time that you choose. It goes all the way up to 60 minutes. You have screen filter if you want it to look sharper softer of a picture, or I just always keep on normal. Some games like this one is very hard to even tell the difference. You can change your controller layout if you want. If you want the L and R buttons to act as the L and R buttons on the GameCube remote, you can set it up to do that. And then the select button, which is that one right there, would be X and Y. Or you can change it around. Either way, A and B on the GameCube remote is always A and B on the Game Boy. The Game Boy. You can change the screen size if you want it big or small. Our alarm's about to go off here. There you go, and it plays a little tone and says time has expired. And you could just press. It should just go away here in a second. Yeah, there you go. But that's the timer's really good for, let's say, if you want to time yourself doing something. I don't know. Let's say you put in some cookies into the oven. You come down and play a quick game. You can set a timer and be like, hey, man, cookies are done. Go up and get it. Anyways, as I was saying, you can change the screen size so that there's less of the border. Normal is usually better just because it doesn't tear up the display as much. And as you can see here, frame, you can change your border. There's tons of them, as you can see here. There's all the way up to 20. But yeah, so we'll just go with let's go number 1, just because why not? And then you can press B, or no, you press Z again once you want to leave there. And then basically you just can play it exactly like you would think. So you can go to 100cc, do a quick race here, and I'll show you it works just kind of the same as. There's my favorite map. Where is it? So as you can see, I suck at Mario Kart. I wasn't really even paying attention, to be honest. Very floaty controls on this game if you've ever played it. It personally makes me a little bit dizzy looking at this game on the Game Boy player. Just because of the way that it kind of wobbles and how movie it is. Now games like Tetris and stuff, yeah, that's great for on here. Mario Bros, all that, yeah. Great. Yeah, this is just a little bit of a, I don't know, just a little bit of a show of me messing around. Just A to go. You press B, that's your brake. And yeah, it's not too bad, honestly. And then the start button is how you pause it, just like you would assume. So yeah. So this, in general, is a very good way for you to play, for you to be able to play Game Boy Advance games without having to be on a little screen. You can lay down in your nice couch with your big screen TV, playing with one of the most comfortable remotes ever, the GameCube remote. And yeah, and it works with everything. It works with original Game Boy, it works with Game Boy Color games, and it works with Game Boy Advance games. So that's a pretty good deal there, to be honest with you. So now what we are going to do is we will be tearing this down. Not the GameCube, but the Game Boy player. Basically, to start, there's 2 screws on the bottom. Just make sure that they're loose. You can use a screwdriver, or what I found out, you can even use a coin and just twist it. And it'll get loose, and then it should pop right off. So then once you make sure the screws on the bottom here are loosened, you you basically just, it might be kind of snug, but you just kind of got to pull and it'll come right out. And as you can see, this right here is the only place where it connects, is right here in this port right down here, which is pretty cool. The other port is for a modem adapter to play online. And the other one was generally never used, maybe by developers or something. But this is the one you're going to plug it into, as you can see by the shape, if you ever played with Legos. Yeah. So what we got here then, so you got a port here where you can hook up another Game Boy. Let's say if you want to do multiplayer, you could do that if you have a multiplayer cord and multiplayer game. Then here on the side, as you can see, there is an eject lever, and if you pull it, it just literally throws it out, which is pretty cool. Other than that, there's nothing on the back. On the bottom, it just has some writing that it's from Nintendo and that it complies with FCC or whatever. So then, to tear this baby down, you will need a 4.5 millimeter bit. Just go on Amazon or eBay, look up Nintendo GameCube bit, and you can get one of these. I got this one for about $3 or $4 off of eBay, brand new. They're really cheap. Just looks like, you can see it here, it just kind of looks like this right here. It's kind of a weird shape. Or another thing you can do is you can get a pen and melt the cap into the shape of this bit down in here. But yeah, very handy tool. It also works for N64. It's like it works for a lot of the older game cartridges. It's a proprietary Nintendo bit. So yeah, you'll need one of these. As you can see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots right here where they have these. So I'm just going to go ahead here and take them all out. So yeah, and I'm just going to skip ahead so you guys don't have to watch me unscrew this. So yeah. Okay, so now since we have all those taken out and put to the side, you can see there's no more left in. These actually just stay in, so don't bother with trying to take those out because they won't come out. And of course, don't force it. So now what I would generally do is just grab up here and kind of wiggle it, and it'll come loose. And you can just pull this up. And here's the top part. Not much to this, just plastic molding. And here, as you can see, we have this weird shape, just made out of plastic. We have our connector with kind of a bulge here. And then we have some RF shielding with our port coming out of the front. And this is on here on the side, you can kind of see a little bit of the mechanism for the eject. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take out each one of these screws. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 of them. So what we're going to do is, I guess we're going to take them out. So I'll do that really quick. You guys do the same. Okay guys, so I realized that I missed 2 screws right back here, there, and there. So don't forget to take those out. Now since we have that out though, these here are actually 2 different pieces. As you can tell, this is more of a polished metal. This is more of just a raw, tore up metal. Anyway, so this here you just kind of wiggle. Maybe hold it down because there's nothing holding it onto the board now. And as you can see, here's our connector. Just comes straight up there. And then take this off. You just grab it and And there we go. That is our Game Boy player. I'll lift this up here too. This is it. And this is all you were looking for. Here's our pins where the card goes in. This is your front port. As you can see, this one here looks like it was made in 2003. Very small. So a lot of people think that actually that this is an emulator, but actually this is basically just Game Boy Advanced hardware. I believe this is actually the chip that they use inside the Game Boy Advance, the processor. So basically what they did was they just made the Game Boy Advance in a case small enough to fit in here. Here's the back side. You can see, yeah, here's the CPU on the other side here. Not too bad looking. Yeah, and this here's some kind of GameCube chip. As you can see, it says GBS/DOL. I'm guessing that probably means Game Boy system, maybe. And DOL is actually the code name for the GameCube. Yeah, so this is the inside. Make sure you don't have any leaky capacitors. Clean off the board if it's dirty. Maybe use some compressed air or rubbing or isopropyl alcohol. On the inside of the case, make sure that this is clean too. Take this out, see you got some gooky stuff right there. When I got this, actually, the whole entire thing, I'm not even kidding you, was full of what I think it was pop. It was really sticky, and it was kind of a Coca-Cola color. Not nice. And there was also dead bugs inside, so I took this whole thing apart, and I just washed out all the plastic. I polished it up with there's this plastic restoring gel you can put on that will make it back to kind of the original color, which you did to the outside. But yeah, and to put it back together, you just do the opposite. You put this RF shielding down, then you put in the board, put on this. After putting on this, re-screw everything back up. Put this top back on, put the screws back in, and you're good to go. So yeah. Other than that, as you can see, our little thing here came out. Our little eject. It just basically works with a little spring here, as you can see. For some reason the screw stuck in there, but yeah, not much else as far as that goes. So overall, Game Boy player, this is definitely worth the money. You can get it, I mean, probably cheaper than a Game Boy Advance nowadays. Just the base. The disc, it can be a little bit hard to find. If you put a Xeno chip in your GameCube, you can just burn the file for the Game Boy Advance player onto the disc, and it can just boot that way, and then you won't have to pay for that expensive disc. But really, this is the only way to play it on your TV right now, except for some off-brand adapters that probably will break in a couple days and don't have the same, custom templates and stuff as this. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video. I would recommend this Game Boy Advance player. So keep your eye open on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. That's another good place. Just keep your eyes open for it. The disc is kind of hard to find, but it's worth it. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about the Teardown or how it works in general, just leave me a comment and I'll be sure to respond to it. I'm hoping to make more game and game-related videos in the future. I'm also doing food reviews if you have not seen them yet. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys have a great day or great night. Bye.